Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's Mike Lepre King, Mike L. Legit Fantasy Football, brought to you by Legit Fantasy Sports. I know we're starting about 15 to 20 minutes late. I apologize for that to begin with. I've had a lot of problems. Some say they might be demons that have been chasing me along because I've been doing this paranormal show. Some say I just got shit luck. That's what I would go with. Joining me on the show, the genius, Kev. What's up, Kev?
Hey, good morning, King. Another good Sunday of shows starting off, I hope.
Yeah, we got this one right here, and then tonight we get that paranormal one. And that gentleman, I'll bring up his name in a minute. We're getting a lot of good rub on him, meaning like a lot of people know him. A lot of people are looking forward to seeing him. Myself, it's Krista Cesare. I always pronounce the last name wrong, so I wanted to get it right. Krista Cesare. That'll be a great show. But joining us to our football show that we're doing right this minute is Mastradamus. Mastradamus, how are you today, sir?
Good, gentlemen. Good. Well, I don't know how I'm doing. I really don't. I'm I guess better than most days. I wake up this morning and I'm like in disarray. I'm thinking about all the money that I've blown in cards. I tell you guys, and you guys are like, what the hell is he even talking about?
Yes. All right. Because I wanted to discuss his weight. Because last show, you said something like sleeve and this and that and cards and that and that. It was like 2 minutes, man. You came out of it. And me and Kevin were like, we had no idea what that meant. So please, Kevin, am I right?
Yeah, the first word you used that we had no idea. You said in Hawaii there's going to be a break.
Shoot,
and Mike and I were like,
a break?
Yeah. What's going on in Hawaii?
We didn't even want to slow you down. We talked about it after you dropped off. I said, Mike, do you know what any of those words mean? What's a break? And he's like, no, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. So maybe
this is what a break is. And I actually think I'm going to take this channel down a different branch. I'm going to start doing breaks. And what a break is say you got the Donruss Optics, and they're the high-end card you get. It was about $8.90 a box. This is how we do cards nowadays, right?
So basically,
$890.
We want to learn with you.
A box.
They have like Donruss. There's Donruss, there's Topps, there's all these different companies that still make cards. And you'll go and buy the box of Donruss, right?
Yes. You want the box in order to get like a lot of people to buy onto each team. And you also have the high-end cards. Like the other night when I said I put down 3+ to be Cincinnati, a Mastradamus effect, I knew there was a Joe Burrow coming to me. I got Joe Burrow's probably best card for the best card you can get. Donruss Optic, it was a purple prism and serial number 299. Card without a doubt is a G note right now. If he does what he should do and has a good 10-year career, that card could be 10 G's down the line. Hands down right now, I can get a G+ for it.
All right, so wait.
I don't care about that. What I want to do.
Wait, let us catch up to you. Because and my internet's making up again. That's something else I'd like to apologize about. I had that fixed, but that blew up in my face, so I'll have it fixed by tomorrow. But hey, wait. So somebody must buy a box of cards from a given year, and then what? You guys bid for different teams, and then whatever comes out of the box that's the team that you bid, you get.
This young man from Hawaii, very professional. He is Chaga. Sports Break. I watched him from afar. Like, I hope when people are watching our channel, they'll chirp in and they'll see, oh shit, Donruss Optic. This is a serious, just card collectors in general will be like, I can't wait to see beautiful cards come from this pack. What's going to come? It's like little kids opening up the freaking packs again. They all hope to get the card that I got. When I got that card, everyone went, whoa. So it was pretty tight just to break that card and be able to send that card. A few nights before that, I got my buddy that I was just about to talk about. He's listening to us right now, Double D Breaks. Professional, great guy. This is like the community that we want to try and channel through. Be like, give, my boy Danny Braun of Double D, give him the tap on the back. You can respect him. He's good. A kid from Hawaii who is Chaga, respectful. You can trust him. He just sent me a $1,000 card, no problem. But what's really cool about this is when you start getting people funneling in, they're hitting the subscribe button, Now they see us talking about this. Now we got people watching our breaks, now watching our show, and now becoming fans of legit fantasy sports. And because they hit that subscribe button. All these people in this community are already buying higher end dollar cards. So I know they're probably into gambling, into sports like us, and they'll be into what we're talking about here today.
All right, so wait, let me interrupt again. You're breaking up a little bit. I think it's your phone. Kev, this has to be his phone this time, right? Because it's just him. It's not you. It would be the two of you, right? All right. Kev, you want to ask the questions? My question is, do you pick teams? Is that what's going on, Kev?
Wait, don't go there. Don't do that yet.
Everybody on eBay. Everybody on eBay. Okay, go ahead, Kev.
Basic question. You said it was $8.90 a box. There's still, like, last time I bought a football card, it was packs of cards in a box. You open the pack, you got a stick of gum. There's cards in there. How many packs are in a box?
42.
And it's $890 for the box. I want to try to figure out how much it is per pack.
Well, like you get about and the thing is in Panini Prisms you get 4 cards per pack, and in a blaster box you get I think it's six packs, so you only get 24 cards in a blaster box. Yeah, and that right there, blaster box is 125, and if you want a mega box, they give you 40 cards, I believe.
Yeah.
And you that's 250. In Donruss Optic, I think you get a little bit more cards, but the thing is what you're trying to do here, right? Is say Cincinnati, I don't want to spend $900-$800 on a box, but I'm hoping to go after Joe Burrow. That's why I'm putting $300 because I'm getting every Cincinnati Bengal that comes out the box. But you might not get any Bengals.
Yeah.
You might not get anybody. You might not get a card. You're putting the money out there because you don't want to buy the box, but you're just hoping to get all the football team members that come up the box. Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson. Yeah. You're trying to go after a select few, Justin Jefferson, Justin Hebert. I see somebody break 3 Justin Heberts out the box. I was looking for a Joe Burrow. The kid said, I'm gonna get one more Justin Hebert and you're gonna get your Burrow. And I was like, bullshit, I am. It was the second to last pack, boom, nothing. Yeah. Last pack, I see a Hebert. I'm like, last pack, there's a Hebert. There's no fucking Joe Burrow. I go, another fucking Hebert. And he goes, I told you I got another Hebert. I go, well, if you were right, and you got to be right about the ball, right behind it was a green prism Burrow. It's a beautiful card. So I ended up lucking out, but it was almost my heart in my throat sad because I put a lot of money on there for almost nothing. But cards are exciting, and that's where I'd like to take another, lane down this channel and hope to get that community in here and funnel them in here and watch the show. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, did you know anything about this before?
I had no idea this was going on at this level. Like I said, I assumed you get a pack of cards, you open it up, there's like 24 cards in the pack, you eat a stick of terrible solid rock chewing gum, and you hope you got
The crazy thing is, Kev, right? The crazy thing about this is if you go to Target or Walmart or anything, the vendors can't keep them on the shelves. It's become a frenzy in the last year. Yeah. I put on cards that I didn't even care about. I'm getting almost $2,000. I'm getting $2,000 for a LeBron James shit card on eBay right now.
That's unbelievable.
So Matt, I got a lot of the thing that's holding up my camera is 2 boxes of these at Topps baseball card, 86 and 88 official set. I know they're not worth anything, but I got a 1990 score pro football one. Ooh, we should start picking teams and just reaching out to this son of a bitch to see what we got.
Hey, I'll tell you right now.
No, look, they won't even put the helmet logo on.
King, you want to start gazing at some pictures? I just put a Hank Aaron, rest in peace, Hank Aaron card, 1958 on. I put a Bill Russell auto on. I got a Kobe Bryant rookie on there, LeBron James rookie. I'm letting go of some dope ass cards, but the thing is I'm getting some great money back. Yep. And that's all I really care about.
Well, who was a rookie in 86? I mean, in 1990. Like, I got Harold Green, but who the frick is Harold Green?
The thing is, King, is right around that time they were mass producing cards, and the cards you're after, right, are the serial numbered, autoed, or that's why I said the Donruss optics are great. Panini Prisms are great. I'm not a big fan of there's a lot of cards out there that you can get a lot of junk in.
Joel Sming.
But listen to this, right?
Who the frig is that? Like,
my card collection started.
Hey, what can I get for Joel Sming if I put him up on the thing? Come on, man.
Right now. I walked into a card shop and I told the guy, I go, my wife makes fun of me for collecting cards. He goes, you told me you got the Tom Brady SP Authentic, right? I go, I do. And that card right now can sell anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 by itself alone. And there's only 1,250 of them. I got number 969. So that card at one point in time was 10 cents. People were probably burning that card. A lot of Tom Brady cards were worthless. Just like I said, I'm selling a LeBron James rookie card for like $2,000 on eBay right now that I bought for like $15. I bought there's little cards right now that like Mike's holding up that one day were 10 cents that might be something. It's crazy. And right now cards are through the roof.
So, Astronomist, when this kid in Hawaii did that break you were talking about, are you guys all watching him do it live, like a show, like almost like a show?
Oh, yeah, and they go, woo, woo.
So you see what's coming out of the boxes
right now. We're watching it live, and there's only maybe there's 32 teams. I had two teams on that night. People try to grab multiple teams because you can knock out shipping, but the kid had 70 plus viewers. So you got people just watching the hype. So, yeah, it's dope. It's so dope,
And so you said you paid over 300 to get Cincinnati and some other team.
I paid about $270 for Cincy, and I paid I maybe $30 for the Jaguars or something, because if I got like a James Robinson auto or something at a high end or something, so I ended up paying $3 and change for the two of them. But right there, I got a $1,000 card, which is it could be more. I'm a collector. I'm selling some cards, but I'm grabbing this year's cards that I like. Yeah.
And the kid makes a profit. The guy doing it makes a profit because he paid the I guess $1,800 for the two boxes. And
think about it, King. Right? I mean, Kev. He makes like $270 on Cincy. Yeah. Right now, everybody's after Justin Herbert, so Chargers probably were around 354. Yeah. And right there, that's one box. He was doing two boxes. Yeah. And he's still with the rest of the teams. He's making bank. He's making bank.
Cool. Well, this is I had no idea this was going on at this scale. That's amazing.
My buddy Danny, who's watching right now, Danny Double D's break, says you don't necessarily make a lot of money with Donruss Optic. I think I honestly, when I want to start out with Donruss Optic or Panini Prism, but he says you won't make as much money as you think because a lot of people double up or don't pay up or don't take the teams, and you end up having to sell them before then. But I don't know. I think that kid who did the two Donruss Optics, his name is Chiga Sports Break. He's doing it right. When I see Cincy making $270 and the Chargers making the rest of it, and that's $700, and he's still got another box to pay for, but the other 30 teams have to fill it out. Have to.
Yep.
Hey, I just went to look around this room because somewhere in this room is a basketball. It's signed by the 84, 85 Friars with Billy Donovan's name, like perfect. But I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in the room. When you started talking about that, I'm like, oh, isn't that basketball around here? I couldn't find it. Now, Kev, see how he started a company that he watches and not a lot of people know about, right? It kind of reminds me of like this thing called the Combine that I like to watch and I make a big deal out of. And then didn't you say something along the lines of like, I don't know, was it a joke? People that watch it was a joke?
Yep. Well, King, I looked into it a little more. And apparently one of the best things about it is all the numbers are official. Like they were talking about some guys where at their pro day, they ran like a 4.4. and it's timed manually by hand. The strength and conditioning coaches on the college team are the ones doing it, and so they're incented to make it a little bit better. Then they get to Indy, and instead of a 4.4, they're running a 4.6, which is electronically timed and all this stuff. So I guess a lot of the pro day numbers are juiced a little bit, which you would expect, and you get to Indy, and it really gets the official stuff on the record. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna take back a little what I said on the last show, since as a genius, you got to be open to changing your mind. And I wanted to say on the record that I'm even more interested in how the draft goes this year, when you're not getting any of these kids with like official numbers, especially the ones who sat out last season. We talked a little bit about that last time, so I think it becomes even more important. So that's all I wanted to say.
They're ranking these kids because they played a couple games more than the others. It's absolutely ludicrous. I don't get it. Yeah. It's sad. I think we're going to see a lot of power swings and, people getting picked when they shouldn't be, even undrafted free agents. It's going to be really, really tough.
This will be the year of reaches. Like, this is going to be the year when people are way too high up, like, are drafted way too high up because no one really knows about them. People are taking, like, there's going to be some chances taken. Like, you know what I mean? I feel bad about the fact that they're going to probably not do as much background checks, which, as a Giant coming off the whole DeAndre Baker thing, you got to look into the kid's background. You got to look into the kid's background. If he has any kind of gang affiliations, that's a no. That should be.
I think we're going to see that more and more as we go along, because I think, like we were saying, it's funny because what was I saying? How people are not going to come play for Bill, and then who was it? It was Matty Stafford said, "I ain't going to play for him," and then I knew it. It was like I know how these kids are today. They want the diamonds. They want the jewelry. They want the weak, easy life, no backbone. And that's going to produce kids like you're talking about, King, and Aaron Hernandez and other people. It's going to produce young, weak-minded, weak, feeble young men. And I think we're going to see it more and more because we're not conditioning these players, these men.
Listen, and the old guy in me is thinking, we're making these college kids wear masks. We're making them not touch anything. We're making them sanitize. They've lived a life where the internet was always like, they're not the type of kids that handle pressure. I'm being honest. This generation they're like, pressure can do two things. It can make a diamond. It can burst the pipe. They're the pipes. They're definitely the pipes. So we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff because DeAndre Baker did that whole thing. He went to a card game, didn't like how it went, so he shot up the place. And then he blamed it on someone else. And then the thing was, he got acquitted because it was some sort of like, I don't know, it was like to get thrown out because of something. And he's like to the Giants, like, I'm free. I'm not guilty. And the Giants were like, no thanks.
You're an idiot.
You still shot a gun around. We know you did. So he'll end up landing on like the Chiefs. You know what I mean? A team that doesn't deserve him.
I don't know. Chiefs got rid of Hunt. That was major. I couldn't believe they did that. And this is another thing, and I don't want to go back to beat the drum of the Tampa Bay Bucks or anything, but you know how mad I was about the Pats not standing packed with Antonio Brown, and that fell back on Robert Kraft because it rehashed his meddlings down in Florida. But when you make a pact with a player, and especially in football, you make a pact with him and you stand packed with him, and what he could have done for Antonio Brown that year with the team, would have been better. I would have liked to seen him. He threw him to the curbside. I liked how Tampa Bay said, we'll take you when nobody else wants you. You didn't hear nothing about Antonio Brown. And what was the difference between him this year and last year? He's still a fruitcake. I mean, I don't care. I like the guy. He's a good player. But what I'm trying to say is when you are a football organization, you stand packed next to these people.
Well, wait, hold on a second. He had the charge. He had the accusations with that woman. He slapped her and wouldn't pay a U-Haul driver. That stuff all happened like around this year. He hasn't been in the news with any new cases. That's why. If he were in the news with new cases this year, Tampa Bay would have cut him too. Come on, you can't.
I get kind of
when he came to the Pats, there was almost like a coup against him to. I don't know if that woman was paid, but there was a fire frenzy. And you know what? When you stand packed with somebody in the fire, that would actually produce, like King was saying, that whole locker room. You can either go, oh, we're not with you, and then you can see they didn't want to talk about them. They didn't want to say anything. You either stand with the person or you don't at all. And honestly, I don't care if he's walking around naked in his home. He's a weirdo. There's a lot of weirdos I'm a weirdo.
So wait, here's what I've learned is two things. One, see the red thing on the top left screen? Does yours show the time? Because it usually shows how long we're in the show. Yeah. Mine is showing 7:16 in 38 seconds.
No,
mine's 20:30.
Yeah, mine says
live. Why? Fuck. All right, 20:30. So 20 minutes at the 640 park. All right. So, I have. If it wasn't for bad luck, I would have no luck at all. No, I'm sorry. Before I get into that, what were you just saying? I'll help me get to where I just lost myself.
Yeah, Antonio Brown. Not saying you got to stand behind him. I say the paper right.
Here's the thing. Here's what I learned.
My boy Antonio Brown.
Nice. So listen, I learned this from coaching teenagers, which to me are the perfect people to study because they're the people that are going to become adults, but they act like spoiled adults, right? So teenagers are spoiled adults. But if you do not get their respect as a coach, you are done. D-O-N-E, done. And I'll give you some proof on this. The best player that I coached at one point was that came from my team. My team was my AAU team was the Rising Sons, SONS. And I developed 3 kids that made it to varsity. So in that is my son who plays point, but also this kid named Lincoln, who was a tall kid. He wanted to learn basketball. I taught him, and now he just takes off and dunks. He's a monster. It was me, him, and my son Mike actually that went in November down to what's that all-you-can-eat place, Kev? That's got like the Nordic Lodge. Nordic Lodge.
Wait a minute. You didn't teach him to dunk because the only thing you're dunking is the donut in your coffee. Okay, Michael.
For the record, I could always touch the rim when I was in high school. Couldn't dunk it. I couldn't grip the ball right. But you know that, Kev. I could tap it. I think you could tap it. So
yeah,
but anyway,
I could dunk a tennis ball. But
yeah, me too. But that doesn't count. No one cares. Yeah. No one cares about that. So listen. So what I'm saying,
my Napoleon syndrome just came out.
Yeah,
that's how me and Kev did. Me and Kev. Listen, Ernie D. Gregorio named me and the Genius captains of the JV. When Ernie D decided, I'm off track, but when Ernie D decided to coach the North Providence High School team, come back to his high school, NBA Rookie of the Year, comes back to his hometown, right? He has a tryout for varsity. There had to be 40, 50 kids that showed up that thought that all of a sudden they could play basketball and they were going to make this team, right, Kev? And he just play. He just made you scrimmage and scrimmage and scrimmage. And then at the end of all those scrimmages, he put up a list of 12 names, right? Now, Matt, you can understand I was a junior, right, Kev? Junior, sophomore, junior?
We were sophomores or we're not seniors. We were either sophomores or juniors. So we weren't freshmen either. I think we were sophomores.
Where was it?
I think we were sophomores.
Yeah. All right. I can't remember which year it is, right? But here's what I know. At the end of it, Danny McDonald, who was definitely going to make it as a starting center, comes up to me and goes, I think you made the team. I go, yeah? He goes, yeah, your name's Masso, right? And I go, nah. He goes, what is your name? It's Lepre. He goes, oh, yeah, you made it too. I was like, I don't know that thing, and we made it. And I don't know, I don't want to put Kev on the spot, but I don't want to say that I was 11 and Kev was 12. We'll leave that up for debate. Yeah. But all I know is we get the news that 11 and 12 we're going to be the captains of JV, and we had about to do both practices. So, Matt, it got to the point where he was making me and Kev run an hour and a half with the JV, and then on another hour and a half or 2 hours with the varsity. And if we were sluggish, he'd yell at us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he'd yell at us. Yeah.
I finally ended up quitting because, I don't know how far into the season. After he pulled us off the court in Cranston and they were booing us, get stabbed, and we made the paper. After he did all that stuff, Matty, all he would do in practice was play.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I would be the point guard of the backup team. I was like the B point guard. And out here, Lepre. That meant he was open. And he was open every time down. And I would just throw to him. And if I'm lying, I'm not. He would just be all net. It didn't matter where it was. Best shooter I've ever seen in my life. So when he said he was open. He shot everything. But that's how he was coaching. And then eventually I was like, we get to an argument, him in the locker room about it. I'm going, you realize I'm running 2 practices in a row, right? He goes, yeah, but that's going to make you. I'm like, I'm done. I was just done with Ernie DiGregorio. I'm sorry. That just took me way off track. But, Kev, you remember that? That was like a bad to have.
The thing that I'll never forget is the way he shot. Like he was like, not Steph Curry, because Steph Curry's a better shooter. But you know how Steph Curry has the same form no matter where he shoots from? He could shoot half court, same form. I never saw anyone could do that. When we would throw half court shots up, it would be like 2 hands like this because we couldn't reach. Ernie D would pull up 3 steps over half court, make his noise. Mike passing the ball, and he's like, and he hangs in the air, net. And then after a while, you're kind of like, Ernie, you're supposed to be coaching a team. You're trying to build kids.
We gotta learn. It's impressive. We gotta learn.
Shouldn't we shoot? Shouldn't we
shoot
once in a while?
Some people just they overdo it. They think that just because they're running you that's practice. It's not. You can over condition somebody, and there's a reason even in the military. They were like, you're an A group. I was like, what's A group? They're like, that's the fastest runners. I'm like, I'm not fast. And they were like, we ran 3 times a week. You didn't overrun it, but we would run along those days. But you have to rest. You can overwork your abdomens and stuff like that, but you don't want to work any component of your body too much. You can overrun somebody. No way. No way.
The last thing to say though about the high school before I go back to the point I made at the beginning about coaching was, I never knew what position I played. Like, Kev, can you definitively say what number you were out of 5 that you played?
Mostly 4 because I didn't have the skills to do any kind of jump shooting. So I was usually 4, even though I wasn't, You
never played 5? You had to play 5.
I did, but I wasn't big enough. Yeah, it was 4 or 5. But I wasn't big enough.
Here's the horror story I always tell everybody. For Ernie, I played everything. It was messed up. I was 1, 2, 3, 4. I go down JV, sometimes I'm 4 and 5. So I remember though with the JV, and was Felice was the coach for some reason.
Awful.
And
were you guys Cougars? Were you guys Cougars?
Yeah.
He said to me, he named the starting 5. He goes, that, and that. And I go, all right, cool. He goes, Lepre, you bring it up. And I was like, what? He goes, you're going to bring it up at point. I go, I can't dribble. Like, you know this.
What are you doing here?
I can dribble with my right hand. I can back people down like Magic Johnson because I'm too tall.
I can run up and down a court, but you've never worked on my handling.
So, but yeah, that was a disaster. Anyway, so my point is this: we go to the summer league. Now, what happened with this is a good story too. The town decided to not do summer basketball for the first time in like 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they would, at Evans Field, and they were doing it because they were arguing with the mayor, and that was going to be their like picket line thing to bring like attention to it. What ended up happening was though, I went to the insurance company up the street. I got like $1,000 bond so I can have kids play there, and they were covered. I had jerseys made, and I came up with 4 or 6 teams. We did signups, right? I ended up running that 2 years in a row. I'm talking about like at night, you'd have the stands completely packed. I had to pay referees, and the kids were having the greatest time playing ball. And it was like really like a screw you to the town for like just the way they want to be. But so we had these games, and we'll call him Facade. Facade decided he wanted to coach, right? Now, I put Lincoln on Facade's team. Okay. I had my son Mike, which is, believe me, I'm not bragging, but having Mike, you're well enough. You're all off. He's the best point guard. So if you got a great point guard, you're good as far as basketball. So, but anyways, Dave's got Lincoln. Halfway through the first game, I could see Lincoln was not listening to Dave. And it was upsetting me. So I had to pull the kid aside like after the second game. I'm going, why? He's like one of my best friends, and you're ignoring him. Like, that's disrespectful. And he's like, Coach, I don't think he knows basketball. And I'm like, he knows basketball, dude. I'm like, he might just not know how to tell you about basketball. And that's the problem with kids. They give you, what I was trying to get to is they give you 30 seconds to prove yourself. Like, literally within the first couple seconds you talking, they're deciding whether they're gonna believe you or not. And once they don't believe you or you lose their respect, good luck trying to get it back because it's almost impossible. It's almost near impossible. I had to mentally talk to every kid that I coached. Like in warm-ups, they're doing layups. I would pull a kid aside and I knew what I had to tell that kid because I knew what type of kid that was. You had to know where they are mentally in the game, in their life, who they are. Some people you yell at, like I yell at my son, but I wouldn't yell at, say, another kid who's a shooter that he's a little like, you don't want to yell at that kid. He'll end up being a deer. That's how it's getting with these kids. And it's getting worse in the college ranks because they've been given all this stuff. They're a big man on campus, all that stuff. So what are they like? What are these kids like in the interviews? Like, what do they say? How long are you on a day? How long are you on the internet? Like, that answer must scare the shit out of teams. Like, right? This is like a really weird group of kids that are becoming. Yeah. We expect them to become pros.
I don't. Did you hear this? Something I heard about DK Metcalf. His routine is he wakes up, he works out from 9 to noon, then he plays Call of Duty online till he goes to sleep. That's apparently a day in the life of DK Metcalf.
Oh God!
I'm not his friend. I don't know for sure, but that's the report that came out.
I'll tell you, some people can just do it because I doubted him and I didn't think he was going to be what he is, I think he's top 3, top 4 receiver from here on out. Yeah. The way he just abused corners last year was just so awesome. I think he's got that fire in his belly that a lot of players don't have.
No, I agree. I like him a lot.
Genius, we're at like the 30-minute mark.
31. 32.
31. All right. Let me know when we hit 45. All right.
Yeah. Can we talk about Seattle since we hit Seattle? Can we talk about the Seahawks for a second? Are you guys?
Wait. Can I bring this one thing up? Teddy Bridgewater unfollowed.
I love it.
Carolina.
I love
it because that trade is about to happen.
What's the
trade? Where's he going?
No, it's oh Jesus, Christopher. I have to look it up. I forget who it was. They said wants to go to Carolina. It's a bigger name.
Well, I know who wants to go to Carolina. It's Deshaun, right? That's what they're saying.
It's Watson. The claim was he unfouled because they're trying to work out a trade for Watson.
Yeah.
It's a crazy trade too. C-Mac going to the Texans because they can't handle Watson with C-Mac, but Watson's like, I want you there with me, but that can't happen. It's a decent trade. Nobody else, I don't think, is going to beat that trade that the Panthers are offering. It's a pretty monumental trade. If you can get C-Mac and 2 firsts, but it sucks because, like, you guys know how I feel about the Panthers. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I like what the Panthers are doing there. I wish he had C-Mac all year. I think we would have seen a different team. I don't think he's to blame for the organization, but I do like if you can get Deshaun Watson, you do it. So do it.
So all right, and I agree with you. If you can get Deshaun Watson, of course you do it. It's almost like a basketball. So all right, here's what I wanted to do. There's a couple things that I want to do to break down teams because that's what we're going to do in this off season.
Yep.
I always want to go with the top 11 picks. Should be top 10, but the Giants pick at 11, so we make it the top 11 picks to see if they've changed throughout the weeks. Now, I've been listening to so much draft stuff that it's like it's out my ears. Like my wife has yelled, like, "What are you listening to? Why are you listening to people talk about other people? Like, you just hear they're talking about nothing." And I'm like, "Oh no, they're telling me stuff, right?" So that's the stuff I like. What I want to do though is before free agency, let's go team by team, pretend we're that team, and figure out what you think the best moves or best direction for that team would be, right? So we'll start in the AFC East, and I'm going to make this easy for us. I'm going to start with the New York Jets. What do the New York Jets need to do to become better? Now, the big thing is, what do they do at number 2? Do you stay with Darnold, guys, or do you look for quarterback? I stay with Darnold personally, but what do you guys think?
They do not stay with they immediately go with Zach Wilson, and people in this draft are saying Wilson is better than Trevor Lawrence. Maybe we'll have 10 years to debate that, but I think Trevor Lawrence is heads and shoulders above Zach. But I watched Zach Wilson this year, BYU. He did more with less, and I kind of, it's funny because I'm making a case for Trevor, but I feel Trevor and Mac Jones are kind of in the same situation with a great organization and great talent around them. I don't know if Mac Jones is going to be the guy, but he's skyrocketing up there. But number two is Zach Wilson.
I'm going to argue with you, though. I don't think they should I think they should stay with Sam Darnold, with Genius. I'll tell you why, but Genius, go ahead. Give me yours.
See, I go back and forth on this one, but I think in the end they should move on from Darnold. And it might be just enough. Too much time is probably elapsed within that with him in that organization. Now you can say they got a new coach, new coordinator, all that stuff, but the organization is still fundamentally the same ownership, and that trickles all the way down. So I think probably better to get a clean break and go with Wilson.
So I'm going to say you don't go with Wilson and you stay with Darnold, because you get him on Devonta Smith or Chase, because when's he ever had anybody like that to throw to? You set him up with a really good wide receiver, and then you start the second round, you address the line. I think you build around the kid. You get a coach in there that has half a fucking brain, and that kid's got talent, because they're going to let go of that kid, and that kid's going to become good somewhere. He just is. It's not like he's a bad quarterback. Like, if he was a bad quarterback, like when I say bad quarterback, like when you see him play, he was always trying to do too much because he's on the Jets. He had no talent around them because he's on the Jets. So it's like, do we just rebuild completely? Or for the first time, are they smart enough to go, let's keep a guy that we can make good, and let's get him some weapons and go get places. Let's draft in spots where we're completely deficient. I mean, does that make sense at all? Because that's why when you say go back and forth, I'm like, you stick with Darnold, man. Don't roll the dice on another quarterback when you can, get a weapon or something. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I see the argument, and it's hard to argue against. But the other thing is you get a new coach and everything, and they probably want to start fresh, and it also gives them, it almost lets them reset the clock, because it's like it's my guy. I'm picking my guy. I want Wilson. But we're also assuming the Jets are convinced Wilson is the guy. If they're not, then it becomes a much easier decision to stay with Darnold. But I could see as a coach and the new, like the sort of we're going to be the new Jets. We're getting rid of all the bad memories from the Darnold era.
But what's the hit? What's the hit for really getting rid of Donald? Like, what's the fat? Because what are they going to have left for free agency? Like, one draft. If you just draft that quarterback from BYU, right, Matt? If you just draft that kid, Zach Wilson, he's going to get his ass kicked for a whole season. That's not a good thing to bring a quarterback into. Look, I get what you're saying. Maybe that kid is better than Sam Darnold. But I don't think right now that's the position for him, because he's going to come into the Jets and he's going to get his ass drove into the ground. And now what? Now, 2 years later, we're talking, is Zach Wilson the guy? Should we move on? Like, that's what I mean by that.
They might draft Zach Wilson, but then bring in like a Blake Bortles or a veteran quarterback, or maybe even a Teddy Bridgewater, just to have Ryan Fitzpatrick for a half a year to get him ready. But I wouldn't be opposed to putting Zach Wilson out there right out the gate. I think it's detrimental to some youth quarterbacks. You get them scared. You get them knocked off their confidence too quick. That could be the case. And there's a lot of problems down there in New York. Let's not kid ourselves. I get what you're saying with let's start somewhere else. I don't think Sam Darnold's the problem here. But like what Kevin. Every new coach wants to start with his team, wants to be patted on the back for his scheme and his players, the people he wants running his playbook. So, I think change is coming. And, let's not kid ourselves. There's a reason the Jets started playing strong down the stretch. When coaching change is coming, so don't plays. I'm already hearing Jameson Crowder's out of there. There's a lot of players that are not going to be back.
So let me ask you this. Here's an idea. What if the Jets got rid of Darnold, like we're saying, but signed like Jameis Winston, and then went and got somebody like in the first round? What if they picked up a free agent first of all, instead of waiting on another rookie quarterback that'll probably take 2 to 3 years? What if they went and they grabbed somebody that can be a starter right now and started to just get weapons and pass rushers and build the line? Like the Cowboys started with the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Jets, is it quarterback that big of an issue? When you have Darnold to Zach Wilson, like, is that big an issue? I don't think so. I think the rest of the friggin' team is more
Their
of an issue.
O-line is probably the worst in the business.
Yeah.
Their O-line is just garbage.
So,
You
I
better
mean,
not
and they
even try to get
drafted
running back.
tackle last year.
You
They
know,
drafted
look at
last year.
Actually, he's good. He's good.
Look at
McTighe back.
Joe
I know, but
Burrow
they still
is-
need another, you know?
Joe Burrow's a generational talent, but if Cincy doesn't go with Purell there, you know, you got to protect the king. You're gonna have him knocked out again. You're gonna have him laying down. That sucked to see because I love Joe Burrow. I can't
And
wait
that's
to
my
see what
point
he
with this kid. That's exactly my point with this kid. Like, he's gonna come into the Jets and get his face smashed. I'm thinking they go offensive line or wide receiver. I would really like to see them go with a weapon.
Trevor Lawrence didn't want to become a Jet, right? The year before, Joe Burrow did not want to become a Bengal, right? There's a reason. Hey, I like my knees, man. I like my knees.
So, Kev, any other thoughts on the Jets?
So the one thing to keep in mind is Darnold's on a rookie contract still, so his cap hit is really low. So the biggest Jets move ever would be to keep Darnold and draft Wilson and have Darnold play another season and try to start a quarterback controversy right away and still be the Jets. That would be the Jets move. But I hope they don't do that. I hope they pick one or the other and go strong in that direction.
The Jets
All
could
right, we
draft
talked
the
about
kicker.
the Jets way too long. They suck.
They could draft the kicker. All right, now let's change that. Let's move on. We're the Miami Dolphins. We're staying in the AFC East. Kev, what's my time I got?
42.
Thank you. All right, we are the Miami Dolphins. First of all, I would love to be the Miami Dolphins and be down in Miami. Like, you know what I mean? I would love my office to be in Miami. It's so much better than me sitting in this third floor apartment thing, freezing my nuts to my leg. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So, anyways, we are the Dolphins. What do we do? We are the Dolphins. What are our thoughts? We're drafting number 3. Do we think Tua is the guy? I mean, have we given him even enough time to show if he's the guy? I think we have to stick with him, right? We have to stay with Tua. Am I right or wrong, gentlemen?
Wrong. If they have the opportunity and they do have the arsenal to go after Deshaun Watson, we keep hearing rumblings, the Jets, Miami, and Carolina. I think there's a lot of things in play right now. We just seen Carson Wentz drop. There's going to be a lot of things that fall now, but I think we're just seeing posturing. Even when you hear the Patriots going, we'll go with Mariota, or we don't necessarily need Jimmy G. That's a positioning of all these teams going, I want to get the most for my guy. So you want to see Deshaun Watson. He might be in Miami. I think they might go with Watson over Tua. I don't know if they sold on Tua, but the thing is everything's on the table at this moment in time.
Are you saying they're going to they'll trade Tua?
They could. I don't. Well, you would see Tua immediately be moved. I would think they're not going to have him be a backup. He's worth starting material. But if you see Watson go there, yeah, absolutely. I think the first 10 picks in the draft, we might see active roster members like Tua. If Watson doesn't become a Panther, yeah, we're going to see a crazy shakedown. I think that could happen.
I think Miami takes a tackle. You want my honest opinion? If Sewell is sitting there, they're so happy that they get a tackle like that. Kev, what do you think?
I think they almost have to give Tua another season. He was a rookie. He barely played. He was coming off all those injuries. I'm not a Tua fan either. I'm not a fan, but it's like they don't have the Jets situation. Like, he is their guy. They drafted him in the first round last year. You're already going to give up and draft another quarterback?
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm saying.
when does it stop? You know,
that's what I'm saying.
When you get
you remember when Ross was drafted and then they went with Murray?
Yeah.
When you can get a game changer, you get a game changer. But when you have, that Miami Dolphins team
was a game changer. They think he is a game changer.
that Miami Dolphins team could win without the QB position last year. So if you look at them and you're saying, I'm a QB away from having a chance to maybe win it all, like the Colts, you have to do it. I look at the Dolphins kind of similar to the Colts. They are a quarterback away. I didn't know if I know that Tua wasn't throwing so much last year. You do got to get him a weapon in there. Maybe Chase, maybe, but I don't think you go with a Chase at 3. Like you were saying, you go with the tackle. I don't know. They need weapons there. I'm hearing running back. I'm hearing running back with Miami. I don't believe that either. I like
no. It's got to be wide receiver or they got a tight end in that just necky guy. What his name is?
Yeah.
So they need and they got the quarterback. I go tackle or I go wide receiver. Kev. I mean,
the last thing I'll say on Miami, which you have to factor in, like Mastrodome has said, they can win without a quarterback, right? Let's say Tua proves to be mid-range and they stumble along to somewhere between 9 and 11 wins. They'll never be in the top 5 again for a pick for years and years and years, and they're not going to be able to change out of Tua. So if they're
this is not their pick, Kevin. This is the Texans.
I know. This is the Texans pick, exactly. So if they're sold on Wilson and the Jets pass on Wilson and Wilson goes to 3, they have a real decision to make. But if Wilson goes at 2, then they pick that tackle or they pick somebody else, the wide receiver, and I can see it. But they really have to worry that they're not going to get a shot at a top quarterback for another 5 years.
All right, but what about this? What if Zach Wilson slips to them at 3, and then then they just go, who wants to trade?
Yeah.
Now the board is open to them.
Yep.
The Dolphins can ask for a king's ransom to get to that spot.
Yep. Hold on now. If we're talking about 3-2, hold on. If we're talking about 3-2, then they're taking Wilson. Then you see Tua in a Jets uniform.
No, they don't do business together. Those two.
Well, why not? If I'm telling you, if they're talking and they're not going to talk to each other.
Certain teams don't talk. Certain teams don't trade.
They usually don't, especially in division. But if they're not sold on Wilson and they want to talk down, and then all of a sudden you could possibly get Tua to take that place.
If you're the Dolphins, you're trading. If you want to trade down because you want to get out of that position, somebody needs a quarterback. The Falcons, the Lions at 7, the Panthers at 8, the Broncos at 9. They all want to get up in that spot. They would all want to take that quarterback. You know what I mean?
I'm hearing Mac Jones to Atlanta, and I don't believe that one bit.
I don't know that. So, all right, let's go to all right, and then in free agency as the Dolphins, I think they have a lot of cap room again. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure they have a lot of cap room again because the cap room from 175 to 180 this year, which we talked about screwed Dak over. But so they're going to be players in the market. So they could do the trade for Deshaun Watson. They have all kinds of ammunition, or they can use all the ammunition and you know what I mean, make some quality free agent signings. What's his face? The defensive end is going to be free again. The one that keeps bouncing around, the fast guy. And
I hate that guy, Clowney.
No, in
oh.
I can never pronounce his name. I'll get it. Don't mind me. He had a 1 year. It was with the Jaguars. Defensive end for the Jaguars. Fast off the corner. Signed a 1 year contract last year with somebody else, and he'd be a free agent again. And forget his name, but he was
I know what you're talking about.
Super fast. He'll be on the market. So that's somebody maybe if I'm Miami, I'm looking forward to. So all right, let's go with the Buffalo. We're the Buffalo Bills. We had a really good team, I think, this year, right? We're picking 30th. So the draft isn't something that like we gotta, stress. I don't think you make a lot of free agent moves. I think you shore up a lot of spots, maybe, right? Just shore up some spots.
Yeah, the Bills are. I'm looking right now. The Bills are $1 million over the cap, so they can't make unless they cut some guys. They can't make it.
They'll restructure it for the draft picks, and it helps them that they're picking 30th because they won't be paying as much if they were drafting first.
Yep.
But if I'm them, I'm like, what do you think they're away? I just think they need character guys on defense. You know what I mean? You need a couple of guys to come in. They can be veterans that got like nasty attitudes, but they're great locker room guys. Like the Giants have with Logan Ryan. That guy came and changed the whole atmosphere of the locker room. Everybody was all of a sudden professional and on point because you have certain guys that can make a locker room like that. And I think that's all the Buffalo Bills need, right? They went as far as they could last year. Against
They
the
get
Chiefs.
gassed by the run, so they need some D linemen, and they probably need a run stopping linebacker, but they desperately need a battering ram back. I don't know if Zach Moss is going to be that guy. I know that they tried to give him the lead last year and take it from Singletary, but he got injured late. But I don't think he was ever effective enough to continue to have him tote the rock. I think everyone knows how I felt about the Bills against the Chiefs. I think if the Bills could run the ball, they win that game. They couldn't. You can't be one-dimensional in this league as much as it is a passing league.
I agree. Genius, any thoughts on them?
Yeah, I think I agree with what Matt Strom has said. The thing that would interest me the most is if they get JJ Watt in there, which they'd have to be very careful because he's old and he should only be playing limited snaps. But if they overpay for him, I'd be very worried. Or if they break the bank to keep Matt Milano, I'd be a little bit worried because they do need more on the defensive line, I think, and just have to be careful.
It's definitely the defense they're going to be looking at. Free agency and in the draft, right? The offense, maybe a line of linemen, maybe if not, but they get the tight ends, they got the receiver. JJ Watt signs with them. That would be huge, and I can see that happening. He wants to go to a team like that. He could be that piece that helps them get over the hump. You put him on the line, and then draft a young kid to be a tackle, and then you get he's going to help with the attitude and the work ethic. That would be a great thing for the Bills, just to pull somebody.
I've seen a surprise team calling him. I can't take the name. I can't think of the name off my.
The Browns.
Yeah,
the Browns are all over it.
What's the Browns? Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That line would be sick. Does the Browns have all the all-stars? They're like the Brooklyn Nets. The Browns, for sakes. All right, let's do the last team. We're the New England Patriots. Right? What? And we should know this. Well, you guys should know this. I should say, Matt, you should know this. We're picking 15th. First of all, do we stay at 15 or do we get cute and trade back? Because that's what I got to start with when it comes to Belichick. Do we get cute and trade back and draft a wide receiver that doesn't pan out, Matt? Or what do we do? What do we do at 15?
It really, really depends on if there's somebody that they like at that position. If there's a game-changing linebacker, history shows that they'll go with the Dante Hightower at 15.
Like a Micah Parsons, if he's there? If you can get Micah Parsons?
Who knows what Belichick thinks? He likes to be smart. He's cute. He's cute.
Smart.
He's so smart. He's so smart. He's always thinking.
No, but seriously, what do you think you were looking for? What do they need?
No, I don't know. I know. It really depends on if Hightower is going to come back. He opted out last year. I know that they like Bentley. They got that replacement, but they could have Hightower and Bentley go side by side. They actually got linebackers with Uchi and Winovich and whatnot. What they need is another nice Lawrence guy. Lawrence guy was a big miss. They lost Danny Shelton from the year before in free agency, but they need a nice D lineman, D tackle. What I would like to see them go with is I would love to see them go with a wideout in that situation right there. But who is the QB? Is it Jimmy G?
Oh, that's the whole thing.
It Mariota? The Patriots, before the draft even starts, they're gonna have their ducks in a row. They're gonna know.
Do they have a lot of cap space? Do they have a lot of cap space?
Unbelievable amount of cap space.
All right, so which quarterback do you think they're gonna go after? Who would you? If you're the Patriots, who do you want to? Jimmy G, because you know how he plays.
This is what they do, right? They like to work deals. You keep hearing Marcus Mariota. You keep on hearing even Cam Newton. I would never even watch a game if they wanted to go that route. But I do think that they're wicked cheap, and they want to get the biggest deal that they can. They want to make it San Francisco, who's definitely not holding on to Jimmy G. I don't care what they say. They're going to go in a different direction too. They're getting rid of Jimmy. But I do think that the Pats want Jimmy, but they will go another route. It could be Marcus Mariota coming in there, but it could also be Sam Darnold. Watch Sam Darnold fall, and then the Patriots pick him up, and then we do see something come of Sammy. But I would like to see them get a speedster because there's no weapons there. does Jamar Chase fall out the top 10? I doubt it. I'm not sure if it's going to be Waddle. I'd like to see that.
Waddle will never make it that far.
He might not make it that far.
Those top three receivers will be gone by 15.
I'd like to see Waddle.
They won't be there. By 15, they won't. They'll be gone. All three of them. No, seriously, Smith, Chase, and Waddle.
They actually have what it takes to move up a few spots if they like them, but they could move back. I do think that they could move up.
And what about the tight end?
They got a lot of problems.
They can get a tight end, too. You know what I mean? They get that tight end out
there. The only tight end that's worth is the kid from Florida.
Yeah.
He's looking to be going in about 6 to 8. I think they're saying he's going to be going.
I know, but it's hard to draft high on a tight end like that. You know that. Even if they talk about him that he's great. When it comes to draft day, they just slip because nobody wants to be the guy that goes, "Yeah, I drafted a tight end at 5."
Tight end.
It doesn't seem right, you know.
I agree, and I don't. When we talk about it, I don't know how Bill feels about taking a tight end. He loves defense. I mean, up until he picked Harry, I don't know when was the last time he picked a wide receiver in the first round. I don't think he gets it. But I think he needs to do something. That's why we're talking about tight end. He needs to do something with weapons here. So,
Kev, if you stepped in and me and Matt weren't around, what would you do with as a Patriots?
It's a very, very tough question because, like, I don't think Bill Belichick would do a full teardown, but that might be the best thing to do because they have so many holes, but they're like, because of the team and the scheme and the coaching, they're not going to win 3 games. They're going to win between like 7 and 9 games, which means they don't get a good pick next year either. And like, how to get out of the purgatory, you need to find a quarterback, right? And how are they going to do that? Like, are they free? None of the free agents that are out there are amazing, right? You could say, okay, well, if they get Jameis Winston, okay, well, yeah, whatever. If they get Marcus Mariota, another guy, whatever. Like, who can really turn it around? Unless they somehow shock the world and get Watson, which would be very tough to do. Bill's smarter than the three of us put together, so but is his ego going to get in the way where he's like, I can't do a full teardown because I think with the pieces I have plus Cam Newton or Ryan Fitzpatrick, I can get to 11 wins and get us in the playoffs, especially with the guys coming back from the opt-outs, and that's what they do, and they're in this like mode for the next 3 years. That I could see that happening, and I wouldn't really like it.
Yeah, here's the thing that keeps popping into my head as we're talking. What happened to Cam Newton? Like, at what point did Cam Newton go from like a great quarterback, or so people were hyping, to this? Like this. The guy who doesn't seem like he can throw anymore. The guy who doesn't seem like he knows how to snap the ball.
He was started out the year kind of throwing good. I got overly excited for him. And I don't know if it was the Seattle defense that was just so weak and there was so much room. I just think his shoulder has issues, and I think it was like after throwing a little bit, it's not the same. It's pain. It's I have a torn rotator cuff, so I know me and you and Kev, if we were throwing the ball around, I could throw some good balls to you, but once in a while it's going to be at your feet.
Yeah,
it's going to be what the fuck? What's going on with you? What happened? And I'm going to sit in there and tell you my shoulder's messed up. And you're going to be like, what the hell's wrong with this kid? It's going to I think he's got issues with his shoulder.
I think it's with his head too, but Kev.
But it wasn't just his shoulder. His footwork got awful as the year went on too. Like he was throwing off the wrong foot. He was bad. Like everything fell apart. That's the part that really got to me. And
it's a shame to see because he was like the ticket. Like he was what you tuned in to see sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he did amazing things. And
he never really had anybody. He made Greg Olsen. He did have Smith, but he was a one-man wrecking ball. He had a winning record against Bell and Brady, and it's crazy. I thought he would come in and do all right. He did.
Kev, what time? What do we got for time?
59.
Oh, all right. So let's get to the top. Let's do the top 11. Let's end up with 11 picks. The draft order. Let's do our mock draft from 1 through 11. So let's go. First, the Jaguars. We're just going to write down Lawrence.
Yep.
We're all in agreement. Number 2, the New York Jets. Matt says Zach Wilson. I say Devonta Smith because of all the hype. Kev, you would say
Wilson.
So we're gonna put Zach Wilson, which I think would be a bad pick because you're starting over again. Now, number 3, the Dolphins. If Zach Wilson's gone and Lawrence is gone, they go Penei Sewell, or do they go wide receiver? I think they go Sewell. I think he's just the best. You get the best tackle available. You get a tackle that's going to be like a forever tackle. You know what I mean? What do you guys think?
Yeah. I think I agree with
Right?
that.
All right. Matt?
I think it goes to need here, and they go with Jamar Chase, and then Sewell goes to the Bengals at 4.
All right, so I'll put your Chase here at 3, but I'm gonna put Sewell because that's gonna be where we're at with us. So you deviate on that one. Number 4, Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, my bad.
The Atlanta Falcons. That's a tough one.
That's a really tough one.
I'm gonna go with they go Justin Fields, or they go Justin Fields because they need a quarterback. So they grab him right there. That makes sense to me. Justin Fields there makes sense. Anybody else?
I'm going to go with Mac Jones here. I'm hearing Mac Jones is skyrocketing up the boards. Why not? He had all the toys around him. They think he's got toys to play with down in Georgia. Mac Jones, it's what I'm hearing.
All right,
Georgia's right there with Alabama.
I'll put Fields, and I'll put Mac Jones for you. Kev, did you have one you want to throw there?
No, Fields.
All right. No, so number 5. The Bengals. I have Jamar Chase. They need a weapon. They need a tackle. But Penei Sewell, in my mind, goes at 3. So now the Bengals go out and take probably the best wide receiver. He just didn't play last year, Jamar Chase. Anybody else?
Here's the best tackle in Sewell.
Yeah, but he thinks he's really going.
I've been hearing Chase.
You're right.
I've been hearing Chase to the Bengals, but you guys know how I feel about Tyler Boyd. Then you got T. Higgins there. Then you still got a pretty durable AJ Green. I don't think Chase makes sense here. I think Burrow makes chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it would be nice to pair them together again, but I don't believe it.
So here's what's funny, so Matt. We're swapping spots. Then you like Chase at 3. We like Sewell at 3. We put Chase at 5. You put Sewell at 5. So it's just a bit of a flip flop. Number 6.
I think you have to protect Burrow. You can't take a wide out here when you just seen your king lay on the ground. If it's
Jamar Chase, you do. I really mean that. Like, he's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All
right, moving to 6 though. The Eagles. They're gonna get. In my opinion, Eagles go cornerback Patrick Surtain. That's what I have on my list. Anybody else? I mean, that's what they need. You want to know what they need? They need cornerbacks. People are blowing up the Eagles.
I'm going to tell you right now. This is
I like him better than
Farley.
I like him better than Caleb Farley.
This is a Mastradamus effect pick. It's only 4. There's only 4 to 5 quarterbacks that are really being talked about. But this is where they trade out for one of those teams that trying to get in to get one of those final QBs. They're going to trade out of this spot right here. All right, there's so many needs. There's so many needs with Philly.
If they draft, who do they take, Kev? Who would you take? I like Patrick Surtain, the second. That's what I think they take.
I like that, but I could see a wide receiver also because they had no weapons.
Tight end from Florida being taken here because they need a tight end. I'm hearing Zach Ertz to Seattle, and there's not much getting out of Zach Ertz anyway. So maybe Phil Manzor get another weapon for Ertz.
So
I'm gonna go Waddle.
You think Waddle will go there, Matt?
I do like that Waddle pick. What's the tight end from Florida? He's got an E name. What's his name?
Oh, I don't remember, but I know who he is.
No, you're talking about.
Tight end Florida.
I do it all the time.
Kyle Pitts?
Yes, Pitts. It's Pitts. Kyle Pitts. By far the best tight end. By far the best. So Surtain, you say Pitts, and then Waddle. All right. 7. The Lions. Lions go with Micah Parsons if he's there.
That's funny. That was my pick.
The best linebacker on the board. They need that guy. He is unbelievable. He's going to be probably like, when they keep saying generational talent, yes, he is, Micah Parsons, as an inside linebacker. The range, how he can run. He's a beast. From Penn State, the University of Linebackers. Matt, what do you think?
this might be where Waddle goes for me because they're gonna lose. I think Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones is not that guy. Like I said many times, they need a wideout here, big time. They have nobody.
I'll put Waddle for you, Matt. Kev, what do you think? You like Michael Parsons too?
Yeah, Parsons.
All right. 8, the Panthers. Now, in my draft, Zach Wilson would still be on the board because I didn't have him go at 2. So I'm putting Zach Wilson at 8 to the Panthers. You tell me who you have there.
I can't believe you have Zach Wilson still on your board.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I didn't have him going number 2. The Jets are not taking They're taking Devonta Smith.
All right.
Zach Wilson is going at 2, and the rest of the quarterbacks are probably going by 6 or 7, like Mastradamus said. I think right here,
without any trades, I see the scale going.
Okay.
Trades.
I'm thinking Deshaun Watson is already a Panther at this point. I could see Smith. Going to the Panthers here because they need a wideout. They need a number 1 wideout. DJ Moore's nice. Samuel's gone. I don't think Robbie Anderson's going to be doing what he's a nice number 3.
All right, give me a pick.
Go with Smith.
Smith, Kev.
I'm going Pitts.
All right, number 9, the Broncos. I think this is when the kid that played football with my nephew gets picked. Kwity Paye, edge. Anybody want to argue or disagree on that one? He's exactly what they need, by the way. This kid is that good, and he's exactly what Denver needs.
Yo, what I need.
All right, anybody disagree with Kwity Paye? No? All right.
Nope.
Number 10, the Cowboys.
I'm going to go first. It's Cowboys. I'm going to say Surtain Jr. or Surtain the second, whatever the fuck he calls himself. I'm going to say they might maybe one cornerback that grades better, but I think it's a splash name. So I think Jerry will go with Surtain.
And I have Surtain already drafted, so Caleb Farley goes to the Cowboys. The other.
I'm going to go with Kevin with Surtain here. This is a perfect spot for him. I believe this is right around where he gets selected.
So we both think that it'll be a cornerback is what we're saying because I have Caleb Farley and you guys have the other one. All right, number 11, the New York Football Giants.
Here we go.
I have them taking because he would still be on the board in my draft. Waddle.
How the fuck? Oh my god.
That's who the Giants, believe me or not, who the Giants covet. If the Giants do not have a chance at Waddle, the Giants' second choice, and I hate this pick, but it's what the Giants do, would be Gregory Rousseau, the edge rusher from Miami. That's literally who the Giants have second ranked on their board. They love that kid because they compare him to JPP in the sense that he's just so raw of an athlete that they can mold him to anything they want. I don't think he's. I don't know, but I still think that if Waddle's available, Waddle goes at 11. Kev.
So I have Waddle off my board. So I'm gonna go with one of the edge rushers. I gotta see who I'm trying to see who I have left on my list.
It'll be Rousseau.
All right, fine. I'll go with Rousseau.
It would be fucked up, but it will be. Matt, any thoughts? Any thoughts on that?
Nope, we're getting into the deep end of the waters for me.
All right.
I'm not Brother Ray, but I
will
do my research.
All right. So now what I want to say is, Kev, we've met the hour mark, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I get to wrap this up.
108, 109.
So listen, the website legitfantasysports.com. Let me say it without sounding so New Englandy.
LFS.
Legitfantasysports.com. So, anyways, we're doing well with the website. We got a lot of people. A lot of people are watching the different shows. What we need to do, I'm realizing, is we need to bring them more shows. We need to try to find some more on-air personalities. We really do need some more on-air personalities, people to stop by, people to do guest spots. So, if you're interested in sports, you think you can talk about sports, by all means, email me, let me know. If you had your own podcast of sports and you want to put it on our website and use us as a platform, That's something we can also discuss. The more the merrier. The better we can make this website, the better off we all are. So that's how that goes. So for Mastrodonmus, the genius Kev, it's Mike Lepre with Legit Fantasy Football off of legitfantasysports.com. Thank you for watching. Make sure you tune in tonight at 7 o'clock live. It will be Legit Paranormal. We have Chris DeCesare down. Just really quick, to tell you about Chris in a nutshell, Chris has been featured on Sci-Fi, School Spirits, Dorm Room Nightmare, 2012, Independent Docu-Horror, Please Talk With Me, Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, which is unbelievable. He's been on the Travel Channel, My Horror Story, Run, Ghost Boy, Run. He's an author, a lecturer. He just has this incredible college dorm room haunting story that he has. Guy's been everywhere and back, and we get the good luck and good fate that get to interview him tonight. So tune into that. God only knows where we can go with something like that. But you guys got anything you want to say before I throw it down?
I love you.
So for me, Mike Lepre, this was Legit Fantasy Football. Thank you for watching. We will see you Thursday night, and we are done.